What's up, Tweeners? Welcome back to another Tweener tennis video today here on the channel. And today we have a very fun interview for you guys. We have Katarina Jokic, who played at the University of Georgia, who is now turned pro, and she was ranked #1 3 different times while at UGA. And she is just such a fun person to talk to and has such a great view on her game, as well as taking a look at what the difference was between her game in college versus her game now. It's very interesting to listen to what people have to offer once they go to college instead of just turning just pro, and it's a really fun conversation that I really wanted to bring to you guys. I was actually very fortunate that Katarina was able to do this interview with me, so make sure to go show her some love by following her on her Instagram. All of those are down in the description below. And before we start this interview, our goal this year is to get to 5,000 subscribers. So every sub helps, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on. By the way, guys, it's completely free, so if you want to sub now, change your mind later, go ahead and do that. Now, enjoy the interview with Katarina. Well, Katarina, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. It's not every day that we get to have a 3-time #1 player from college on the channel, so I really wanted to reach out to you and talk to you about your experience at UGA and now your pro career too. So thank you again for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. And I think the first question that I have to ask is, how did you just consistently be at #1? What was the pressure like of doing it? Was it seamless, or was it, walk us through that experience?
Well, I think I didn't think too much about like being #1 or playing #1. I think I just went like I wanted to get better, and I knew my sophomore year that I wanted to go pro. So I would just come in, I would work very hard, and yeah, I had big expectations for myself. So sometimes I would put like extra, but you
Hmm.
know, if you just go to practice with a certain, I guess, goal,
Hmm.
take pressure off. And I had a great support system at UGA. It was, yeah. But again, I had a really good goal. I had a vision. So I think, yeah, I was able to push myself, and yeah.
No, it's amazing your work ethic too, just from a tennis standpoint. I mean, you and Kennedy, who we had on the channel too, have, I think, a great relationship off the court as well. And seeing you guys train together every now and then, it seems like that family has really helped you grow, not only as a player, but as a person as well.
Yeah, I mean, at UGA, everything is really about, the family
Hmm.
vibe, having this really good connection with each other. And Kennedy, in fact, we trained together
Hmm.
when we were both in Charleston, so that's great. And I mean, I met her at UGA, so
It's great that you guys have that relationship too. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your kind of how you ended up being pro, because like you said, your sophomore year, you had the goal of, I want to become pro now. Was that always your goal, or was it until your sophomore year that you realized you really did have a shot of playing on the tour?
I think, well, I was thinking of going pro before college, just
Mhm.
skip college and going straight pro, but I had a couple injuries and then that made me think, hey, like get a college degree and then play at a
Mhm.
high level and then go pro, which
Mhm.
I ended up, I think, was the best move. Um, but I think after the sophomore year, I realized that I can play on a very high level when I really put the work in,
Mhm.
and fun. I mean, I enjoy it, and I think I don't see myself right now doing anything else.
Mhm.
And if I was a little kid to do it right now, so
Mhm.
I.
No, it's true, and I think you point out a very good point. I always ask players that went to college and then decided to go pro, why did you? And I think you touched on it a little bit. Why did you decide to go to college instead of going straight pro? Was that because of the injuries, or was that because you kind of wanted to develop your game more?
Well, the injuries played a good role in that. Like, just having a
Yeah.
backup. Right now, I have a backup, so I'm not like too worried. What
Mhm.
if I don't hit?
Yeah.
Um, but I think for me, where I'm from is I guess the situation over there was like a little complicated. I didn't have everything I needed or wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it changed the environment. And US was a great opportunity for me to like just grow in every way.
Mm-hmm.
And
And for you, from a team aspect, what do you think helped you grow as a player when you played on a team versus now when you still have people around you, but you don't have that team aspect like you had at Georgia? You had everything accessible to you. What did the team aspect from college tennis teach you about tennis?
that's a good question.
Thank you.
I miss not having the girls like right next to me when I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the like when I started playing some pro tournaments, I really was like, oh my gosh, like I miss having people here. But I guess just like playing for someone or like playing for them like took that pressure away as well,
Mm-hmm.
because you always knew you had like someone next to you. And right now I'm like way more used to like having like just playing on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, even there were some matches where I played in pro tournaments and I was thinking about them,
Mm-hmm.
like kind of about my friends. So
Yeah.
still, kind of I miss it, but I mean, just learning how to deal with like some pressure situations and yeah, kind of knowing that someone's got my back, I guess.
Do you think and you talked about it a little bit with the whole playing for someone else and playing kind of for a bigger process, a bigger achievement for your team, not just for yourself. As a pro now, how hard is it to deal with that kind of individualistic pressure? Because now that you don't have not anyone to rely on, but having that team definitely has a big factor when you're losing or when you're down. How does that individualistic aspect feel like?
It's definitely different.
Mm-hmm.
I think like right now I only play for myself really,
Mm-hmm.
because the other person next to me, so for them or for, I mean, of course I like play for my family and like, but again, it's different. And I think in a way, like there was probably a little more pressure when I was playing for someone else as well, because I knew that, the team kind of depends on me a little bit. I mean, 1 point is pretty important.
Yeah.
And so right now, I mean, I still have like a little bit of pressure, but I think it's less because I'm only doing it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not, well, quote, quote, disappoint
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
But really a hard transition for me to go from playing with people and then playing like on my own kind of,
Yeah.
Now I'm more used to it.
It's such a weird transition when you start kind of having just yourself to rely on, not just for playing, but for traveling and logistics. And what kind of shock was that when you went to the pro tour?
Yeah, I felt lonely. I
Yeah.
felt like not, I felt like I'm even not as motivated, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just so different. It was super, like, it was really different. And yeah, that's really, I can tell you, and it was different. It was hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I really struggled. I a lot the first couple, I guess, months.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's.
Well, I think it's a good point though. Like you're not the only one to feel that, and we're seeing that a lot more with a lot of the pros on tour now with mental health and trying to make sure that everyone kind of has a safe space around them for growing and developing on the pro tour. So for you personally, how was that? How do you feel now compared to when you first started, uh, just being by yourself on tour?
I feel much better.
Mm-hmm.
I think I learned some things. I worked on myself.
Oh, you're gone.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, I learned how to like I get my own a little more,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone around me. So yeah, I think it just had to be like that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it took me a couple months to feel like good on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, right now I feel feel pretty good, but it wasn't like this before.
Oh, absolutely. And I think a lot of people can relate to that in some way, shape, or form, whether they're a pro, college, or junior player. And I wanted to transition to your game, because how would you describe your game to anyone that hasn't seen you played yet?
I would say that I can do a lot of different things on the court. I don't
Okay.
think that I like to play, like, try to play smart and find like weaknesses of my opponents and kind of adapt. Like, because everyone is different, right? So you can't
Mhm.
just have one type, I guess, style that you play. I don't have the biggest serve or like the biggest forehand or backhand, but I think I cover the court pretty well. I try to use, whatever chances I get, which
Mhm.
everyone else. But yeah, I like to play like full court, and I don't know, have like again, big serve or anything, but get a lot of balls.
No, I think to put you under the category of just a grinder on court, and when you talk about that, it kind of reminds me of Svitolina and where she is in her game. She doesn't have that big of weapons, but she can get every ball. She's a good counter puncher. And I think for you, is that who would you kind of, if you were to compare yourself to someone else on tour, who would you compare yourself to when it comes to your style of game?
I think Svitolina is pretty like accurate. Not
Okay.
at her level, but
you'll you'll get there one day, trust me.
yeah, I hope so. I would say maybe a little bit Kerber,
Oh, I
Angela Kerber.
like that.
Yeah, I like that too. I So yeah, people like that, I would say.
Mhm.
Um,
Is that how who you looked up to growing up as a tennis player, or was there anyone else that you kind of looked up to, not only as a player but as a like mentor for you?
yeah, well, it wasn't them. It was
Okay, fair enough.
um, I mean, I loved watching Serena play when I was little, and Sharapova.
Mhm.
Again, very aggressive players. Big serves, big every single shot.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, now I like watching Naomi play
yeah,
Osaka.
love
Again,
that.
not yeah. But yeah, those were, I guess, the people I love watching, and yeah.
Is there a piece of advice from your coach or from another player that has stuck with you throughout your years, or is there kind of someone that is, well, start with the quote, or is there a piece of advice that someone has given you that has stuck with you for your career?
Um, that's a good one again. I currently don't think I have one.
Hmm.
I like I've been talking to, my coach and like my family, and everyone has like this, everyone's trying to help you out and give you like some piece of advice, but right now I don't really have that one quote
Hmm.
probably when I play, but right
Yeah.
now I'm
No, it's that's totally fine, because what would you personally, what would you give to someone or a younger self to you if
Mhm.
you were to tell yourself something when you were younger? What would you tell them?
Probably for myself, because I know like how I was and how I am now.
Hmm.
I would just say to like go to every practice with a certain purpose and
Hmm.
like a good vision in your head. Believe what you think you can do. Like there were times where I was like, oh my gosh, like maybe I should do something else. But if you really, I think, stick with it, and you put like a lot of work and effort in it, then
Hmm.
it hopefully pays off. I don't know yet if it will.
Yeah.
Putting so yeah, I think just hard work and the effort and consistency. So yeah.
I love that. And for, I think for anyone that watches this, I think it's a real testament to how you played and your journey now when it comes to just continuing the grind, because it's really hard to do what you're doing. And did a lot of people have doubts that you would go pro, or did you doubt yourself at all when you first went pro?
I When I went pro, I didn't really doubt it. I knew since, again, like my sophomore year, that I'm gonna
Hmm.
go pro. Other people out, I don't know. I don't really think, like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do what I want to do, and have opinions. And I mean, I've heard a lot of opinions that maybe were not the best, and comments and all this, but I'm just doing my job.
Yeah, no, I love that. And for the rest of the year going forward, and we're still early on, we're in February as we're recording this, what are if you were to give me 3 goals that you have to accomplish by the end of the year, what would you say?
I would say I would like to be like top 300 or 400 by the end of the year. And then, I mean, there's certain like that I want to work on, like, I don't know, I'm just gonna say serve, or like improve in this area. I want to sport. I want to enjoy it. I think that's a big goal, because again, when I first started playing pro, I was feeling so much pressure and I didn't enjoy it, and it was not fun. So yeah, I really want to enjoy it, give it all I have, and see what happens. So
I love that. And I really appreciate you taking time out of your day and your Sunday to kind of, it already looks great behind you in terms of the weather. It's currently snowing and pitch black outside in my house, so I'm kind of upset. But then again, I'm going to go watch the Super Bowl. But Katarina, where's some place that people can follow your journey and your story?
Well, the ITF, I guess, website.
Your Instagram as well, right?
Instagram. I don't know if people know my Instagram.
I'll put every social that you have, I'll put in the description below. So don't worry if people want to follow you. And you're almost at 10,000 followers too, correct? You're at like what, 8K?
Yeah, something like this.
Yeah. So let's get her verified, people. So thank you. Thank you so much, Katarina, for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Much. Have a good day.
You too.